to a quad.
Talking about that because let's be real. On the old WNBA front, this is the most relevant the league is going to be for the next couple of weeks. Because we can be honest, during a couple of weeks, Caitlin Clark is out injured. Doesn't matter what happens. Does not matter what.
The WNBA is once again at the center of intense scrutiny, but this time it's not due to questionable officiating or hard fouls. Instead, it's something far more troubling. Stephanie White's recent update on Caitlin Clark's injury has reverberated throughout the basketball community, her uneasy tone hinting that the situation may be more grave than anyone is willing to acknowledge.
Groin injury, and how much of an absence do you expect from her beyond today?
Yeah, late last night. I think it's very much a day-to-day thing, how she responds to treatment. I stay in my lane and let our strength and conditioning and our physical, our AT staff do what they do best. But yeah, I found out late last night, and then we'll treat it day to day.
Back-to-back a factor at all with that?
I mean, I don't know if it's a factor from a physical standpoint, from an athletic training standpoint. Certainly in my mind, it is. But at the same time, she's shown that she's tough and she's a quick.
The unsettling truth is that it's now impossible to overlook the relentless physical targeting Caitlin Clark has endured this season, a toll that has finally caught up with her. The league's brightest star now finds herself sidelined by an injury that few anticipated, or perhaps more accurately, one that many simply chose not to see coming.
How much patience do I need to have before I can start going nuclear? Because I am getting very frustrated with what I am seeing. To everybody that said Caitlin Clark didn't look like herself, salute to you. For everybody that said Caitlin Clark might be going through something, salute to you. Clearly, you all saw what that person that stands there like this can't see. We all saw what was going on. Man, something's not right.
When Stephanie White took the podium to discuss Caitlin Clark's abrupt groin injury, fans weren't met with the steady reassurance they'd hoped for. Instead, they saw a head coach who appeared genuinely blindsided, offering uncertain, elusive remarks that only deepened the mystery and concern surrounding the situation.
Reported yesterday, like her pain in the left groin.
It had to have been at some point during the day because they took her out yesterday, for the MRI. So I'm not exactly sure. I didn't hear about it until we heard from our training staff last night.
And with the MRI, did it show a strain or anything, or?
I don't. You'll have to.
Late last night, White disclosed that the timeline of events surrounding Clark's injury was troubling in itself. Asked when she first learned of the issue, White explained that although Clark had reported pain and undergone an MRI on Wednesday, she wasn't informed until the training staff reached out to her later that evening. This sequence was far from the standard, proactive injury management fans expect from professional organizations.
And within rushing her back, she re-injured that same quad. And then you rushed her back again. And then within rushing her back, she was forced to put pressure and put stress on different areas surrounding that quad. That leads us to our most recent groin injury. I don't need a degree to think for myself. If you've ever been to the gym, you got some chest pain, next thing you know, you got some shoulder pain. Why? Because instead of using your chest muscle to do the exercises, you compensate and start using your shoulder.
What made White's press conference even more disconcerting was her repeated acknowledgement of being out of the loop. I'm not exactly sure. I didn't hear about it until our training staff contacted us last night, she admitted, underscoring a troubling disconnect. A coaching staff seemingly unaware of the true state of their star players' health.
She's dealing with a lot herself, right? Stephanie White. Of course, she's missed, 2 games so far because of personal issues. So I don't necessarily know what her personal issues are. Hopefully it's nothing like DeWanna Bonner's. But nonetheless, she's dealing with some things of her own. So maybe it's a tad bit difficult to keep up with every single thing that happens with her players. And then of course, she got this news late at night. So I don't know what time this could have been. It was posted early in the morning. So, she's probably just now getting into the facility and trying to figure out what's going on with Caitlin. Let me see the MRI. What happened with the MRI? They probably called her right before she can.
If you're enjoying this coverage, please consider subscribing. The situation surrounding Caitlin Clark's latest injury has taken a troubling turn, especially when contrasted with how her previous quad issue was handled. Back then, head coach Stephanie White provided a reassuring level of transparency and detail, offering clear timelines for Clark's return and meaningful insights into her recovery. This gave fans, media, and teammates a sense of certainty and control. Now, however, the updates on Clark's current setback are shrouded in ambiguity. White's vague remarks have left the public with more questions than answers, suggesting that this injury might be more unpredictable, or perhaps more serious, than anyone is willing to openly acknowledge.
When she says you have to ask our training staff, are any of us really going to get the opportunity to actually talk to a training staff member? I don't think that actually is going to happen. So like what Stephanie White is doing right there is basically saying, I can't tell you, even if I could tell you, it's not going to be announced through me. It's going to be announced just how they announce everything else. They're going to announce it through a press conference. They're going to announce it through a press release, a tweet with the information. These organizations are very private, especially with, the injury information, because people go.
Clark's groin injury isn't an isolated incident. It's the result of months of physical wear that the WNBA has failed to rein in. The timing is especially troubling, coming just after that rough game against the Connecticut Sun, where she was poked in the eye by GCS Sheldon and blindsided by Marina Mabry, and barely a week removed from her return on June 14. Since then, Clark's been enduring what looks less like a slump and more like a red flag. Her shooting has plunged to historic lows, hitting just 1 of 23 from 3 over her last 3 games. Against Seattle, she managed only 6 points, recording more turnovers than points for the first time in her career. It's hard to see this now as anything but a warning sign that went unheeded.
Does not need to play another game until she's completely 100% healthy. If that means she has to miss multiple weeks, so be it, because you don't want to get into the habit of her rushing back from injuries when she's not fully healthy, and we know if one nagging injury can lead to another nagging injury. So the best thing that the Indiana Fever can do, regardless of what Caitlin Clark wants to do, you have to protect your star, your superstar, because she's going to want to get on the court. But until she's 100% healthy, she does not need to play another basketball game.
The stats say it all. 17% of all flagrant fouls in the WNBA this season have been committed against Caitlin Clark. 8 came from a single team. That's not chance. It's a pattern. From Kendi Carter's blindside kit to repeated targeting by Chicago and the eye poke and shove against Connecticut, Clark has taken punishment that would have ended some careers. Meanwhile, players like Marina Mabry faced little more than fines, no suspensions, and continue to go after the league's biggest star unchecked.
A lot of y'all records she coming from. She coming for him. At the end of the day, y'all can't stop nothing, bro. Y'all trying to beat her up and bruise her up and take her out the game and injure her, bro. We know what the motive is, dog. Like, don't nobody like that. I don't vouch for that. I don't like that. You hear me? Y'all not leading. Look, y'all need to get that out y'all heart. Cause that's some deep demonic stuff. The way y'all thinking and how y'all moving and having y'all little meetings and all of that and wanna plot against this woman and her teammates that have her back. Y'all better leave her, Sophie.
Clark's fans have reacted fiercely, flooding social media with calls for her to leave the WNBA entirely. Many say the league never deserved her. One put it bluntly, if Clark left for Europe, they'd cheer her on, even if it meant the WNBA's downfall. It's not hard to see why. When Clark was out earlier this season, TV ratings dropped 55% and Fever ticket prices fell nearly 50%. Meanwhile, she gets technicals after being fouled, while those who target her face little real punishment. The message is clear. The WNBA seems more concerned with protecting veteran players' pride than its biggest star's safety.
Find out this morning that we probably need to hold out again today. It's just, it really is a day-to-day thing. And I think for us, making sure that we're prioritizing her long-term health and wellness. It's anybody who's had some of these types of injuries understand that sometimes it's a process. She's a quick healer and she's been doing everything that she can to get back on the floor. So, we just want to make sure that we're hypersensitive to the big picture.
But I'm gonna keep saying it. Something is going on. I don't know what it is, man, but that's uncalled for. And we can see it.
I don't know if we need to look into the committee, with the higher up players, the veteran players. I don't know what we need to look at, but